Welcome. We are live here on Substack. You're here for the download with Sara Connell. That's me. And so excited that you are joining us for this very special live. And we are going to get into a hot topic today. And when I say hot, I mean because it's uncomfortable and it affects everyone. I have coached thousands and thousands of incredible visionaries, entrepreneurs, experts, corporate executives, lawyers, doctors. This is a topic that has affected everyone that I have ever coached and worked with. The topic is visibility and something I'm calling the visibility trap. And we're going to be having a juicy conversation today about visibility, visibility traps, visibility blockers, and what we can do about them. If there is any interruption in the signal, we are having thunderstorms where I live in Chicago. So I hope that this is coming through okay. We've got thunder and lightning empowering this conversation. Nature is being very visible. And I'm so excited that you're here joining us for this conversation because there is an insidious disease really, and it's sort of visibility-itis, right? Many of us, and if you're on this particular live today and you're here with me at the download, it's because you have been called to do something in this world. You've been called to contribute a movement, a mission, a message, a framework, an idea, your story. There, you have been called to lead a movement on planet Earth at this time. And the problem is for many of us that we get the calling to write the book, to stand on the stage, to lead a movement, to launch a business, whatever it is. And at the same time, there is an enormous sort of counter effect that is either terrified, doesn't believe we're worthy, is afraid of the judgment that we might receive by being more visible, all the different things, okay? All the different things. And so we get into this visibility trap where we have a calling and then we're afraid to be seen in that calling for fear of whatever it might be. Okay. So, oh my gosh. And I was just on with Allison, who's here right now. And we were having a conversation that leads perfectly into this about how are we going to download our way out of the visibility trap. I also want to see if we are hopefully going to be joined in this conversation with the amazing Beth Nidick, who is, a visibility expert, host of a TV show host and producer. And so if you think about, that you're pretty darn visible if you're on TV, then we're going to have this conversation. If you're here, Beth, let me know and I will try to get you up. If we have any technical difficulties, we'll make sure we get Beth into this conversation with us as soon as possible. But I want to hear for those of you that are live. I want to see scale of one would be I am massively uncomfortable with being visible. And visibility is whatever that means to you, whether it's going live on a social platform, whether it's posting on social media, emailing a list, speaking on a stage, doing a podcast interview, writing a book, just whatever it means to you. One would be I'm very uncomfortable being visible, and a 10 is you are like you love being visible and you have no hangups about it at all. And I just want to see where we are as we bring Beth up because I want to. Okay, perfect. Beth's going to be coming on here in a second. So I want to hear where everybody is that is on live. And those of you watching this on the replay, you can write in and tell us, okay, and comment on this. So I just want to see our range. One is, again, you're very uncomfortable being visible, and a 10 would be you love being visible and you can't get enough of it. Okay. So yes, here we've got Miss Beth. Hi there.
Oh my goodness. Hi.
I'm
I
so
love
happy
the
to see you.
visibility trap. Like that is the best term for what a lot of people think about visibility and how they're using it. So I'm so excited.
Right? Right, we're gonna have this conversation, and Beth, I'm gonna let you share a little bit more about who I know I kinda gave people that
Yeah.
they understand you're visible because you're on TV, you produce television, you do podcasts, you speak on stages, you do presentations, you do all the things, right? So we have ranges here in the room, just those in our live studio audience today, everywhere from a 2, like being uncomfortable, up through, some people are at a 10. They love being visible, and they're very confident in being so. But Beth, tell everyone a little more about what you do, and then let's talk about what you see in the people that you like produce and coach and work with.
Thank you, Sarah. I'm so excited to be here with your people on Substack, which is even the more exciting. I'm so happy you're doing this. But I am a former national TV producer. I started my career at The Tonight Show, moved over to MTV, did House of Style and movie awards and music awards. So I've been behind the scenes in all the places. That's why my Substack's called Green Room Studio. Because in
Yes.
the green room is where we would have the conversations about being visible. We would have the conversations about how nervous A-list celebrities were to go on camera
Yeah.
and be on stage. And what I really learned from that is not just about storytelling. It's about your identity in the media, how you show up, and what the conversation you're doing or you're having actually is. So what I teach today is not only how to show up on camera, but it's really, I teach you how to give good interview, what to
Right.
say, how to say it, when to say it, how to promote it, because our community looks at podcast guesting as a necessary evil versus a revenue tool that they're not using correctly.
Right. And that is I mean, Beth, because you're helping people not only give good interview. So
I
we
know,
love that.
so
We love the
Jersey.
Cosmo take on that, right? But also what to do with it once you do it to make it work for your goals. Like when we teach book writing, I don't just help someone figure out like, oh, let's get your book done. It's what do you want the book to do for you? And we reverse engineer the entire book to be aimed towards those objectives. And you're doing the same thing. That's why we love collaborating, because you're helping people do that with their podcast interviews, their TV interviews, their print journal, interviews as well, right? So we've got a whole range in the room from 1 to 10, which is awesome because we're all representing the world, right? And we might feel confident in certain ways and then feel lack of confidence and fear when, for me, if I'm being visible around something new, I'm going to have more fear than if it's like, oh, I've been teaching this for 10 years, then I'm in my comfort zone. Put me on any stage in 5 minutes and I'll be fine, right? Versus, oh, I don't know my messaging yet. I don't really know how to talk about this, or I'm afraid. But Beth, before we get into some antidotes to the visibility trap,
Yeah.
we just all want to know when we're in one, right? And I also want to honor everyone that if you aren't at a 10, let me there's good reason why. Okay, let's not sugarcoat and act like I'm not in a bro energy. Just do it. It's like, just suck it up, get on. Like, there are real reasons we're afraid to be visible, right? Some of us, and just do a little inventory, everyone who's here. And Beth, you can tell me what you hear in your folks a lot. I mean, some of us have been visible and we had something really scary happen as a result, right? Someone judged us, ostracized us, cut us down. Like we may have like I had this just this whole childhood dynamic where we don't want to hear from you. Was like we don't want to hear and it just I was annoying to my family because I'm very intense and passionate and a lot of feelings and sensitive according to them, and that's different, right? And so I was very pathologized for that. And even in school, they were talking, oh, I was like a Hermione Granger, like, doing this. And the teacher's like, we've heard enough from you. Right. And so that gave me this message inside that was like, I need to not be seen and heard. Visibility means people are mad at you and they don't like you. Right. And so there's just some of us have had those traumas. And I do say that. I don't say it to be dramatic. I'm like, those are visibility traumas. Right. Some of us saw someone else be visible and get canceled or get attacked or get whatever it is. And so you think, well, I don't like that. Right. But sometimes we have visibility resistance around, we see people being visible in a way we don't like. I hear this with my clients all the time. And so like, I don't want to be like those people.
Yeah.
And so the answer is I'll just be invisible. Right. We do a like it's called in psychology a reaction formation. Right. And so then we're over in the like, I'll just be invisible because I don't want to be like joining the noise of the junk that's out there. And the turning point for me came when I realized if I don't let myself be visible, then I'm going to I'm going to not like the only voices that will be heard are those other voices. And I realized like I was grateful to the people that showed up in a way that's inspiring to me on a stage or on a podcast or wrote the book. So Beth, what do you hear in terms, let's just get into what the trap is.
Yeah, well, all the things that you're saying, all the messaging that you got when you were a little kid, all the like be cute and be quiet in the corner, or you got bullied for having a big mouth, or you got bullied because you were different, or you got
Yeah.
bullied because, right? Right, we all of us, I think a lot of us digital ladies definitely had that experience, but I think it really comes down to your mindset about it.
Yeah.
It's what you make it mean. I always find it so interesting when I have somebody who's a newer entrepreneur and they're like, I don't want to get canceled. And I'm like, there's nothing you're going to say that's going to, you're going to get canceled, right? Or the conversation around like, no one's paying attention to what you're thinking, right? No one's paying attention. Not that they're not paying attention to your business, but they're not paying enough close attention to like, a get you moment. So the fear around what could happen is, I think, one of the biggest things. But the biggest above that is really the mindset. So why me? And I'm from Jersey, North Jersey, not South Jersey, different country. But North Jersey, I have this different bravado. I think that I've gotten just from culturally being Jewish and growing up here. But the point of view of like, why not me is what I really try to instill in all my clients so that they can see beyond the limitations that they were given or the limitations inside their mindset.
This is so important, Beth, because it is the I'm not a celebrity or I don't have a million followers on whatever. So who wants to have, that's another big, like blocker, right? So Beth, let's talk. These are all the traps. The traps are something bad's going to happen. I'll have some kind of negative response, or on the flip side, who would care because I'm not a Kardashian or whatever it is that we're making up, right?
Yes.
So, okay, so we know all of these are false ideas, except I don't know, and someone here might know, or you might know, Beth, the woman that wrote, there's a woman whose whole platform, her whole movement is act like you're already canceled.
Oh, Lisa Johnson.
Yes. Okay. So Lisa John, I knew someone, her.
Yes.
I love that so much because think of the freedom. It's like, if that's the big fear, then just act like you already are and then say what you're going to say, because then you've already taken the power away from anyone to be able to cancel you. No one else gets to define that. I understand there are all kinds of things, right? But if we're here being of integrity we no longer are in an era where we can hide in the middle. Allison and I just talked about that. Allison Harris here on her podcast. Like we cannot do that anymore because people are searching for someone they can believe in, someone they can follow. They need a leader to step up and actually stand for something, right? And so, Beth, what's the first way you help someone get out of this visibility trap? Like, and to start thinking about giving that a good interview or really positioning their interview to attract clients to your program or whatever it might be.
The first conversation is really around, what do you want people to say when you're not in the room? So just like personal branding or creating your business, it's the media branding that we really focus on.
Right.
What's the conversation you want to have? So somebody listening, your ideal client listening, say it's a mom and she's doing laundry. What is going to make, I always say it, what is going to make her put down the socks?
Yeah.
That thing that you need to communicate so that you can really hit your ideal client in the feels, because marketing is a head game. It's a mindset game. It's how are you going to make me see which way I should go? The media is a heart game. Middle child Pisces over here. So I am all the creative heart, right? I know. But it's how are you going to make me feel? And are you going to make me mad? Or are you going to make me happy? You're going to make me believe in myself. You're going to make me not believe. I don't care what it is. As long as I make you feel like something. So when I'm starting with a client, we really start with that. What is the feeling you want somebody to think about when you're not in the room? And that also creates the opportunity for people to refer you, to talk about you. I want you talking about this interview. Everyone that's watching, please tell everybody else. Did I just make you mad? Do you hate people from Jersey? I don't care what it is, but I want you talking about it. So that because my conversation has invoked something in you. And when we can start with that feeling, that's where we find the most success.
So this is so important, right? Everyone, we're giving the roadmap. Beth's here to help us have the roadmap out of the visibility trap. Step one is the mindset.
Mhm.
We do want you, all of you here that are part of the download and part of this movement and part of the future of thought leadership. We want you all to be visible. Beth and I want you on the TV shows. We want you in the media. We want you on the podcast. We want you writing your books. So, because we need more really good people that are bringing in good thought leadership to the world. So, first is the mindset of my voice does matter. I do have something to say, and I'm going to be brave enough to, if I get scared, to act like I'm already canceled and say the thing I'm here to say anyway. Okay. Number two is what Beth said of how do you want people to feel when you have done that interview, right? Not what you want them to intellectually experience. What do you want them to feel? Right. And Beth, what are some of the answers people give? Is it like, I want them to feel inspired, or I want them to feel like, what do you hear from various folks?
Well, I laugh because what I hear from me is like, Beth, you scare me, but I know that you're the one that's going to help me do the thing. It's like,
Ah,
Sarah, what do you think you make people feel when they interact with you or interact with your content?
yeah, so it would depend on the situation, right? Because I teach, and when I teach people doing keynotes and TED Talks and, writing books, we do focus very, very similar, Beth, like you, on what do you want the person to feel? The emotional journey is what I hear you talking. That's what we call it in thought leader world. So the emotional journey is actually more important than the content every single time, just like what you're saying. Always, always, always. So what I want someone to feel in terms of the download, right? Like that I want someone to feel that I want someone to feel tremendous excitement about the fact that they have power to get clarity, to get the sign, to get the big idea. Like they have the power. They don't have to go outside themselves. They don't have to pay a bunch of money. Like that they. So I want people to feel, I think, excitement about using this
Ooh, that's
system.
interesting. I
Hmm.
love that because one of the things that I got from you before we met,
Yeah.
before we really got to know each other, was that you have the intellectual, but you also hold the warm space
Mm.
for me to create that opportunity for me to do that big thing, to be inspired. Sometimes it's like a little itchy, but I felt like you were more like, I'll say cashmere, more
Yeah.
cashmere than wool. Just I love your word.
Love it.
But a lot of people, right, they want to inspire, they want to motivate, it's something about them makes them feel something. And going back to the other side of it, but if I make you mad and I make you not like me, but I've moved you enough to
Yeah.
tell me that you've watched my video and you still don't like me, that's a win, because I want to give our
Yeah.
audience both sides. They
Yeah.
might not like you because they're not ready for you yet. They might
Yeah.
reach out. Like I was called, was it last year? Somebody DM me a picture of a peanut and my face and told me, because I have a long face and I had like a tan, and they're like, you look like a peanut face. And I was like, as long as I made you feel something, babes, I don't care what it is.
Oh,
But I
Beth.
made them so mad that they had to make fun of me. Like, that's
Yes.
been in my book.
And the time, and you're able to take that attention
Right.
and understand what it really is. I had a
Yeah.
therapist who would do this. We were a group, like a group trauma group, and people could come at him with anything. I hate you. I do. Thank you. Thank you so much, because and he wasn't doing it sarcastically. He
No.
really understood that emotion was connection. And so if it was like I pissed you off, but I told you the truth, or I made you think, or you consumed something. And so I think it's so good, Beth. I love that what do we want people to feel? I want everyone to take that as a homework for this week of what do I want people to feel when they consume my content? And it may differ on things, like it may differ on a certain talk or a certain piece of content or a certain interview, but what are we empowered, inspired, excited are words I would say, that's what I want people to feel. And, but I have clients who are contrarians. They want people to feel provoked. That is really the goal in a good way, because then the person might kind of dismantle some of their calcified thinking. And that's where you're coming from, Beth. But then I've got the Pisces. We love you. We hold your space.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It all
exactly.
comes from Jersey. I always say it all comes from Jersey love, and I'm a safe space to do things that are hard for you. But
Yeah.
I think it's the permission to just be yourself.
Mm.
And it is a joke, and I don't drink, but I always like, what's to you to two tequilas in, right? What's you when you really let the guard down, when you really, you know, I say to my clients, like, when you haven't showered for 3 days and you're hanging out with your girlfriends or your mom, like, who's that person? Let me see her, right? Because a lot of times
Mm.
we feel like we need to be polished, or we feel like, to be completely transparent, I usually wear sweatshirts, but I knew you'd be wearing something fancy with a necklace. So I have my necklaces on and I have a nice jacket on because I wanted to not match where you are, but I wanted my version of where you are so I could show up for my friend and not show up like, like I just got home
I
from the
love
gym.
you, like, I had to dress up for this freaking
I did.
which you definitely don't. Anyone, if you
My
come on the
Adidas
show,
jacket.
you look
Right?
fab, and I would've been happy in pajamas or anything else. I love
Oh,
it.
I know, but
Yeah, yeah,
having that feeling and understanding how you show up, no matter if you're dressed, if you're not dressed, but really not putting on a caricature. You can
yes,
create a character of who you are. Like when I'm in person, I'm a little bit less than I am on camera, meaning
got it.
my energy is a little bit less because when we're on camera, we need to have more energy to show up. The camera makes you do that. But it's not too far. The best
Yeah.
compliment I think is when I know people do this to you too. When they meet you in person, you're like, you're the same person I thought
Yes.
you'd be.
Completely. And that's where we don't have to ever in thought leadership compartmentalize, do and like you said, we may increase energy level for a content. If you're going on a stage with 1,000 people, you might, do some Michael Phelps jumps. I call them the Michael Phelps jumps, before he goes in the pool, he's jumping up and down. It's like, just get your energy up because there's a shared experience you're creating different than if you're, sitting on the sofa with a friend, but it's still the human that shows up and what she says is the same person. So that's the third piece of the visibility antidote, Beth, right? We're going to get our mindset into I do belong here and I get to do this. We are going to think about the feeling we want people to have, and we're going to show up as the real us and not a performance. We're actually going to bring the real us, right? And so, is there anything else you want? Like, let's talk about. Not that we're going to diagram everyone. You'll know how to follow Beth after this if you want to learn all her moves for how to convert off your media appearances and your interviews and things. But Beth, like, what else will help an audience member, someone that sees you on a TV interview, and then says, I need to work with that person. So first they're going to have a feeling that either makes them think, that gives them a reaction. What is a move around having someone want more?
It's the interview. In the interview itself, one of my signature moves that I work with my clients is that initial conversation, because we're thinking about, let's say, a half-hour interview.
Yeah.
If you can't get me past the first 3 minutes,
Yeah.
then you've lost. So what's happening? I call the 12-second opener. What are you doing in that first 12 seconds to help me keep listening to you? Because you've got me in on your title, which hopefully is a little clickbaity, not lying, but like a little clickbaity. But what is that conversation? And what a lot of times people come to me, what they're doing is, thanks so much for being on for helping me on the show. I'm so grateful. Oh my God, I'm so like, right. And then
Right.
we're going into well, I work with small business owners. I'm out, ladies and gentlemen. You've lost me and 80% of the audience.
Right.
Instead, this is what I teach my clients, drop me into a story.
Yes.
Give me the who, what, where, when. One of the stories I tell was my first TV appearance. I was on the Dr. Oz show. So I take you back to 2015. And I just or the chills. And I describe what the green room looked like and my dress and the feeling and the sense and the people I spoke to. And then what it was like to be on camera. And I tell a 3-minute story of my first national TV spot and how
Right.
I made avocado deviled eggs with Dr. Oz and how the water fell off the front of the table while we were cooking. Like, right. And not everyone's going to have a Hollywood story, but give me the earliest ascension that you can into what it would be like to spend time with me, what my
Right.
expertise is like, what my stories are like. Like, if you can't listen to me for 3 minutes, you're not going to be able to work with me for 3 months.
Right.
So giving me that drop into the story really tells me who you are, really tells me what you're about, and really gives the tone of the whole conversation a different vibe.
So good. So we're starting with story. Those of you that are in Thought Leader Academy with me, you know this, right? We go stays, story, then you could teach, then you can give an act. Right. I love this, Beth. That's already just such complete gold and remember that, did you all hear Beth was giving sensory details, right? It wasn't just an anecdote that's very summarized. It wasn't like, oh, back when I was new, I made avocado deviled eggs with Dr. Oz, which would still be interesting to people because he's a known personality and whatever. But instead it's what you were wearing. Was it hot or cold? What was the color of the green room? Like, were the lights blaring? Was there any interaction beforehand? Right? Like, then people are in the room. And those of you know, we're very neuroscience based here. What happens is the person's brain will fire as if they're in the room with Beth. That's what's going on the brain level. Okay. What's happening in the brain when you use sensory detail and specificity is the person interacting with your story actually has their brain light up as if they're there. And that's how you create transformation, not just information and inspiration. Those of you that train with me, you know this all the time. We talk about it, we train on it. Okay. So, Beth, you are I know I want to honor, you know, your time and everything, but this is so important to get us out of the trap is I'm scared to be more visible, whether it's on TV or on social or in a book. I don't know how to make the interview work for me, right? So you're going to do it with story. You're going to focus on how you want someone to feel. Is there anything else you want us to go away with to just be like practicing this week as we do interviews or write posts or whatever it is?
Well, I hope everyone's doing interviews. And if you're not, please find someone you know and DM them right now. Beth told me to DM you and say, can I be on your show? We can talk about them DMs. But I think the biggest thing that people miss is the call to action because they don't have a focused place that they're trying to get people to.
Yeah.
I'll really quickly. There are 3 different kinds of podcasts. There are 3 different kinds of interviews. There's a credibility interview, an awareness interview, and a sales interview.
Great.
And depending on what I'm doing in my business, depends that conversation.
Yes.
But let's talk about a sales interview. If you are having an interview where you want to direct people to your lead magnet and you're waiting till the last 2 minutes to tell people, you've lost the opportunity.
Yep.
So how can you integrate what you're offering in your conversation? If you go back to any of my podcasts, you'll hear it. And what I want to give everyone permission to do is actually talk to the audience. Because as much as Sara, I love you, and you know I do, I'm actually talking to Jen and Maria and Karen and Live Awake. I'm talking to everyone who's listening. So on your next interview, really talk to that audience. Yeah. Really have a conversation, kind of a one-sided sales call conversation where you're giving them the opportunity to find out about you and you're giving them the information up front. You're giving where they can go find you, because I'll be in a conversation and I'll drop my CTA, not like, hey, if this resonates with you, no. How does it really fit into what I'm talking about? And that's what I teach in Mike to Millions, which is my program on how to do that. Yeah. So your interviews work for you. You know, Sara, I started doing this work. I closed a PR agency because we were spreading great PR for people, but they wasn't translating into their business. And when I started showing them just the things that I was doing for myself, that's when I saw the transformation. And I closed a very successful business to start doing this for the impact, to really support people, because I want everyone to love being on camera. Live TV and me are really good friends.
Yeah.
I want everyone that's listening and everyone that's watching to really release all those things that you were told and all those feelings around video. And I love what you say. It's like you get to be on camera, you get to make an impact. And I love the I'm like a geek for you because I love all the neuro pieces of it, and how it can really fit into getting to your goals. And I just think visibility gets you your goals faster, bottom line.
Okay, so I want everyone to hear this because Beth is speaking truth right now. We did in 2024, Beth, we did a thing called the Secret Visibility Project, and we called it that because most of us were secret. We were like, I want to be visible and I look like I'm visible, but I'm really hiding like a ton of the time in the ways that we could be visible. So we did this whole kind of like accelerator, and we, you know, it was a couple months and we worked on, you know, working through on the subconscious, you know, neuroscience level of our visibility fears and things. And what was the truth is, here's the reason we spent all that time doing that accelerator. It's because visibility is your fastest path to profitability. It just is. Not just revenue generation, not just it's impact. Yes, we're all about impact and income. I think, Beth, when you teach, the same as our mission, right? Because it gets to be both, and you all deserve it to be both. But visibility is the number one needle mover. And when we say visibility, it's again, social, on stages, on podcasts, on TV, writing books, like it's your thought leadership. But people need to know we can't write a book and then do what I've done sometimes. And then you put the bushel, you know, we're putting the bushel over our light. So visibility is challenging, and often some of us that seem very visible are still hiding, and it's uncomfortable, so we get to have support. You can work with Beth, and those of you that are working with us, this is what we're helping, because we can't just, again, shove the "go do the thing." Our nervous system won't align, our subconscious won't align, we're gonna get chaotic vibration, we'll sabotage it or we'll block it or whatever it might be. So, Beth, there's so many nuggets here of starting with the mindset, then how the emotional journey, what story we can do in those first 12 seconds that puts someone drops them right into a moment with us, that's gonna help them feel seen and heard and inspired. And then making sure we don't leave, like, the entire call to action of, or that the call to, I call it seeding. So you wanna seed at the beginning. I used to offer a thing where I would, we have a 6-step pitch, like, if people wanna get booked, for speaking engagements, and it just shows you exactly what to say and how to, and we've had people book thousands and thousands of, speaking engagements with this particular, script. It's a template basically, right? But I wouldn't wait till the end of a talk if it was about speaking and then say, "Oh, I have this resource." I tell a story of someone who got stuck because they didn't know how to pitch, and then I kind of show, and then at the end, "If you all want that, I will make that available to this audience." I would have a 90%, opt-in rate, because they weren't hearing about it for the first time necessarily. And again, like Mako's saying here, when you pitch this way, or I mean, when you seed this way, you don't feel weird about making an offer.
Yeah, you don't feel
Because
salesy, you don't feel
you're
yeah.
actually saying to someone, "Oh, that thing that I was teaching on and sharing about, I'm gonna give it to you." Or even if it is for money, it's like you can get that for whatever. Beth, what's one of your favorite things that you offer when you are speaking or doing interviews?
I just actually came out with something called the authority gap not diagnostic,
Oh, I
because I
love a diagnostic. Yeah.
it wasn't a quiz. It's not a quiz. It's a diagnostic,
Yeah.
because I really felt like people aren't educated in what media can actually do for their business.
Mhm.
Increasingly, I hear this: podcasting isn't media. So the education, I know, but the
Right.
education piece was there. So I wanted people to understand what authority is, where their
Mhm.
gaps are, and where they can fill it. But I want to just mention one more thing before we go, is that the reason that I'm really heartfelt about this in 2026, and I want everyone to really hear this, is
Mhm.
that the media business is changing.
Yes.
It's not what it was last year. Actually, it's not what it was 6 months ago.
Yep.
And as the media business changes and more celebrities are creators and reality stars and
Yeah.
not actors,
Yeah.
what I think is most important is our media personality, is how you're showing up with your authority online.
Mm,
Because if you really want to compete, and on a larger scale, how these celebrities are now coming into our business
yeah.
and thinking they can teach you how to be a thought leader, they can teach you how to cook, they can teach you digital business or whatever it is for them. I want to, like, heed the warning that if you're not showing up somewhere with your visibility as yourself, so
Yeah.
getting yourself out of all the traps that we've been talking about,
Yeah.
2027 might not be there for you. And I don't say that to scare anybody.
Yeah.
I say it with full love, that I just want everyone to be aware so that we can all move forward and continue to make an impact and continue to help people. That's why I thought focusing on everyone's authority was so important, so you
Right.
can really see what has to happen next, so you can be seen alongside a reality star, or Valerie Bertinelli, who's been in the business since 1972, or Matthew McConaughey, who now loves Tony
Right.
Robbins. Right, all these people are coming in. I want everyone to focus on how their personality is coming out, and through getting through all the traps we talked about, I think it's the easiest way, it's the safest way, and it's the most economically impressive way.
This is so good. Can we share the diagnostic with this
Of
group?
course, of course.
Okay. Okay. So everyone, if you want that, tell us, those of you that are on live, and we'll make that available. Beth, if you either have the link and want to share it
Yeah.
here, or we can, of course, we'll share it along in the show notes here with us, so that we can make sure we can assess where we are, right,
Yep.
in terms of our media how much do we know, the education piece, we're all going to learn something. And so I'm excited to take that myself because I know this is new, Beth. I don't have this
Yeah.
one yet. So I'm very excited. Okay. So let's all take that. Okay. Let's all take Beth's assessment. And then everybody, just in terms of Beth, is there anything before? I've got a couple announcements for folks after, but you tell me, is there like, I hope everyone takes action on this interview today. I hope everyone listened to Beth and like, if not, like, take one thing, whether it's define. In fact, I want to hear from everyone who's live. I'm going to give you a choice. We're all going to do something, okay? From this conversation. One option A, all right, is we're going to play it like a little game. Option A is you're going to think of the story that can be impactful for your first 12 seconds of any interview you do. Okay, so you're going to write story if that's yours. And yes, we are recording this, Rose. We're going to send it out. All of you will get it automatically. You have to be a subscriber though, because otherwise we don't have a way to send it to you. So just make sure you're with us here. It's because it'll automatically get sent to you. Okay. So if you're going to do the story, put story. And if you're going to focus on the core emotion you want people to feel after they hear an interview with you, put emotion. Right? That's B. Option C is you're going to think about how you can seed your call to action that you want to give people on your interviews earlier than the very end. Okay. And so put CTA if you're going to focus on your call to action. All right. We're all going to take the diagnostic because those are, I saw Mako's here and she's an expert in diagnostics. So I love this. Right. And, okay. So pick your thing. Good. Everyone's choosing. And those of you watching the recording, you can just let us know. All right. And then all of you who want to be part of the download book launch, Beth, we've got the book coming out where we're going to get the future of thought leadership that's at stake. We're going to empower you with how to get your downloads and how to have a process every single day to get original creative thinking in this very mechanical sameness epidemic that we're in, and that you're going to be able to manifest your goals faster by getting your downloads. Okay. So we've got the link there for Beth's assessment. Thank you, Beth. So all of you that want to be part of the Insiders download book launch, right? All you need to do is make sure you get your download toolkit. Okay. So that's our Substack right here so that you can come on all the private trainings. Beth, I wonder if I could lure you back for a part two. Okay. So if those of you that are going to be part of this is $47 for the entire year. You're going to get all the live trainings I do. You're going to get the download toolkit, which will help you get your next creative download, your next big decision, your next big idea in the next 24 hours. Okay. You're going to get the tracker. It's brain science based. You'll get access to the new app, the beta of the new app. You're going to get to come on all the secret lives about all the secret lives that we're going to be doing about the book launch. You want to see how to do a New York Times bestseller book launch. You want the step-by-step of USA Today, New York Times. You're going to get all the things. Okay. So you just have to take two actions. You're going to pre-order the book, and I'll grab you the link. And then you're going to join the download toolkit so that you can get that. And then you'll get notified for all the trainings. We are going to have so much fun with this summer. We've sold the first 700 books. So we have, 19,000 something to go, right? For New York Times, but it's all good. Like, if those of you that really want to be behind the scenes or you just want to get downloads. Okay. So we're really, really, really excited for you guys. I'll grab the link for the pre-order link. And then all you need to do is do the $47 option on Substack for us here at the download. And it's the whole year. You get all the things. It's going to be so fun. And Beth, we can have you back just for the insiders,
Yes,
right?
please.
And maybe you could help us with one of those pieces, whether it's the emotional journey or the story or the call to action. We could do a little working session. So I just volunteered, Beth, for that. Didn't ask.
She knows
Super
I'm going to
rude.
say yes.
Super rude. Just volunteered you for it. But let me go ahead and let me grab the link for you all. I'll grab that so that you can grab the book if you want it. And let me just
$47, like you and all the stuff that you provide just with on your not paid platform to be in the paid platform. is so reasonable, and the access to you. I just wanted to acknowledge you for like the honor that you give us and the honor that you give our community to really be a part of this. You know, I adore you, but Sarah does things differently, guys. She really does. And she really, your petite little frame, you're such a big personality. You have such a huge heart. And I just want to acknowledge you for that. Like, I know that, and I know everyone else watching is that too. So if you're not in the $47, I'm going to be in it. Hopefully everyone else in the chat will be in it, but it's more than reasonable. That's not the word I want to use. The word is like, what a chance you're giving everyone, Sarah. Like, how blessed we all are.
Oh, I'm so excited to have this journey because I've never done a blow by blow behind the scenes of a book launch, and that's just a piece. Mainly, this is about all of you and getting your downloads, right? We have all the good neuroscience tools for that. But some people I know have asked me on previous book launches, and I'm going to be really honest, Beth. I'm just going to say something. I don't know if this is in your recommendations or I'm going to violate one of Beth's recommendations, so you can tell me in real time which one it is. But the honest reason I haven't done it before is because I was scared. I was really scared to let everyone see what my real goals were and what every action I was taking, and to go for something that I absolutely can't control and honestly like has so many moving parts that make it like a ridiculous thing. And I'm doing it this time because I have finally detached my self-worth from I have detached my self-worth from what the outcome is, right? I'm doing this because I want to model being courageous at a time when we're all very tempted, and I have been very tempted to play it closer, to be a little bit more image managey. You know, I'm just being on like I've never said any this is you're hearing it, Beth, and all of you who are here with us for the first time. Like I just was too I felt too vulnerable in doing it. And I've just decided I'm going to do it this way because I appreciate when others have done this for me, when they have not held anything back and they have showed like the full thing. And so I'm going to do that for those of you that want to do whatever it is that the dream is, right? Whatever the thing is. I want to, yes, however, the more open we are, the safer it gets. And so I don't have a wall, and I didn't know I did. I mean, to be honest, I wasn't conscious of it, but I was protecting, and I understand why, and I honor anybody. I mean, we all want to protect ourselves, but I feel like the calling to make this work available in a way with no walls is stronger. I always teach make the vision bigger than the fear. And that's sort of where I just said, if not now, when? You know what I mean? This is what
Yeah.
I teach. So those of you that are gonna come on this journey with us, and that's why we wanted to make it like this is for the entire year. It's, you know, $47 to do all the but also to get all the yummy download, you know, pieces, have people like Beth in to train us in more, you know, direct ways. So Beth, I'm excited. We're all gonna take your diagnostic.
I
We're gonna
appreciate
learn more about our media readiness and media, what do I want to call it? The media Q, our media quotient,
Yes.
right? We're going to get that. And then I really hope you all join us for this journey of, you know, being the download insider and getting, first of all, so you can get your downloads all year long, but that you can take the journey with us. We are just the pre-order started like right now. And I know a couple people said, good, Beth just reposted her link for the diagnostic. And it sounds like some of you couldn't get the book pre-order link. So I'm going to get that. I'm going to grab that for you. I'll
Yeah, I
make sure
posted
we,
it again also, Sarah. I put the
yes.
the page. I ordered mine April 24th.
Okay. Did it work for you, Beth, on that link?
Yeah, yeah. I was like, oh, I did. Because I was like, did I get it? I'm like, of course.
Perfect. Perfect.
That's
Yes.
why I don't remember that I did it.
So Beth's diagnostic link, grab that one because
Yeah.
it's now working. And then again, those of you that are subscribed in the group, you'll get this whole replay sent out and you'll be able to do it. So what's just Beth, I like asking at the end, what is the interview you have coming up that you're most excited about? Or if there's not one on the books, what would be the one that would be the one you're wildly excited about?
I'm actually wild excited about my own interviews. So I have been talking about my own talk show for about a year. We've recorded 2 episodes. And like you, the night before it went out, or the night before I recorded it, I put out this blog post about how terrified I was to fail in front of everybody. And how being a seasoned professional, been on national TV, handful, dozens of times, I'm still nervous. I still wanted to puke before I did it. And I've been holding off doing it, but I brought
Mm,
I'm going to be doing it live at Craft and Commerce, the Convert Kit event. I'm going to be doing some live episodes there. And like you, I've just decided to like get over myself and get over wanting to be perfect or gonna get
yeah.
over to be that person. For interviews, I've done it enough. I feel I was, I prepped for this one. I knew what we were talking about, but the next big interview I have is where I'm interviewing and not being interviewed.
Yes, which is a whole art. That's another art,
Yeah, it's really
which you're
exciting.
brilliant at.
I
Oh, I so
appreciate
love
that and really being able to bring everyone's media personalities. Maybe we can get Sara to come to New York and film with us next time she's out here.
I cut all anyone has to say is New York, and I'm on the thing, I'm there all the time. I love it. I love
But
it.
I appreciate that so much. But everyone that's listening and everyone that's in the chat, please take what we've said today, go stretch yourself, go make yourself uncomfortable. Let us know about it so we can support you. And I'll see everyone inside of the group for $49. I'm gonna get
Yes,
in right for $449. I'd be in.
I
But
love it, Beth.
$49, there's not an excuse not to be in and support Sara on this book extravaganza that she's going to allow us into. And I'm so blessed. I can't wait. Maybe one
Well,
day my own, we'll be doing it for my book, but
there
not
you
my.
go. See, and
Yeah.
that's the point, right? You guys are gonna see me do all the things and see what works and what doesn't, and hopefully more works than doesn't work. But we're gonna proceed with our mission. And Beth, then yeah, then I'll be on more of the live TV, and you'll be on doing your book. So okay, so it sounds like the link, Beth, to the diagnostic is there. I think Karen said you had to cut and paste. I'm gonna try it right now, just while we're on, just because then let me see if
I should have ready for all of you guys. I
well,
apologize.
it's all good. We're just all learning, we just moved our show over here to Substack, so
It's
it's
in my,
different.
it's in my Insta
Yep.
bio. I'm going to go get it again.
Yeah. Just so we can test it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we'll email it out, guys, if we have any issues, if there's a tech issue or anything, as long as we have your email, just make sure you're subscribed so that we can make sure we have your info to message it to you. All right, I want to hear everyone's takeaway. All right. What's your takeaway from today? We already got your action step. Everyone committed to either working on story, emotion, taking the diagnostic, working on your call to action. So biggest takeaway, was it about leading with story? Was it about the first 12 seconds? Let's just see what everyone's what you're walking away with so that we can make this like a power week together and go out. And my motto in high school was wake up, kick ass. And so I love doing that early in the week. So leading with story was your biggest takeaway, Karen. I love it. I love it. Yep. Okay. Amazing. So let's lead with it. Let's be powerful. Let's be visible. And we'll see you all on the inside of Download Insiders and back here on the Download Show. Talk to you soon.